one spirit when we're one. The Mashiach, spirit of Yeshua, came into me as Ziranpin and cleansed me. Took the feather, the Holy Spirit, and took the leaven on my sin and pride and put it on the cross and took it outside and burned it so that I can live today. I found the Afikomen, and now the Father gave me a gift too, because it's true. It wasn't for you, Jew. It wasn't for you, but to Jew first. But don't be ignorant of this one thing, as Rav Paul said. The Jew was kept in the dark for a season to allow the Gentiles in. And so right now his heart is, he wants to bring his children home. And even Yehuda, even in your writings, you know, when the name is released, hallelujah, he says, when my name is released and you can no longer control it, Shimator Yachanam Kuromasim Kenim Baruch Haba Hashem Yahweh, then you'll see me again. Shanayo Kurimato Yamani, you are in me. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Yah. Hallelujah. May the whole host be in me as well. Maybe be one. Like Kung Fu Panda. May I be like the ox for you. Mashiach. For don't talk to one of them, they say. For if you do, you talk to all of them too. That's how the spirit of Mashiach is. That's what the head of the Mashiach is. That we're all one. Echad. Each a gift. Each a frequency. A living stone of me. An angel. For when they reach me and become a melech, they become an angel too. For they are then a messenger of mine to speak my truth. For the truth will come down when those who rise up give themselves to me, he says. When you give yourself to me and make your offering the way you're supposed to. You see the IRS? They made a false system. The governments, they made a false system so we can give to them and they can give where they think it's appropriate. Planned Parenthood to make their childhood sacrifices so they can eat baby flesh and drink the blood too. Thank you for bringing light and judgments to Abaya. For exposing what's in the darkness. For the fools just bury their heads and they say that can't be true. But Abba, I know you. You don't lie to me. And we know this is true. Thank you, Father. So, he says, I'm bringing home brick by brick. But they are the ones that lay their lives down for me. The 144,000. He says, I must have to trust. They have to be servants of the king. And I'm sorry, but the truth is, this kingdom is coming between the two witnesses. It is the two oil trees where they must flow. One is a positive and one is a negative. One is Keter and one is Malkut. So you see, my Mashiach lives in my servant. And his higher self is Metatron. We're going to take the highway there. 89. My Mashiach lives in my servant. You see? My Mashiach makes my coffee. Because he loves me. And he says, I will do anything to be close to thee. I will do anything to be close to you. This is true. So the time has come. Either you're going to be Mary or Martha. If you want to learn to live in trust, you can't accept the system that they've made to harm my children. You see, all these viruses and vaccinations too came from Nazi Germany through the doctors that planned to harm you. You see, the doctors were finding ways through microbes, viruses, molds, ticks, mosquitoes, all those things, parasites too. They were trying to find what harms the Hebrew people. Make it right up there. What harms the Hebrew people? And what they've been doing, this is out of... So, we never stopped what Hitler was doing. You see, that's why Father Bush and the Bush family supported the Nazis. That's what they all did. All they're doing is trying to fighting who's on top. See, we Americans took the Nazi stuff and we're like, we're going to do it a better way. We're going to do it hidden so they don't see us coming. And so what they were doing is secretly allowing the Hebrew people, secretly allowing the Hebrew people to be harmed. They were basically studying these things out on Plum Island. Look it up. See, I was diagnosed with Lyme disease as well. And when I found out what they were doing, see, I had nothing better to do because I was in pain and suffering all the time. The only thing that I would do was fight for my life. I would research why I was sick too. That's all I could do. And oh my goodness, it opened up a whole Pandora's box that I could never close again. And so I became this crazy person on Facebook, exposing things. And now it's all coming out into the open because now he's exposing it too. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. So this is what this is. It's about exposure of what is happening. And so what they were doing all this time was trying to find ways, you see, Lyme disease, all these spirochetes, all these things, parasites and viruses, through vaccinations and to harm only the Hebrew people and the genetics. And now guess what they're doing? They're going to test you with COVID, stick it up your nose or your mouth and make sure they have all the DNA they can get to find out if who's who in Whoville, because they want your inheritance, you know. And so there was an edict sent out by the king. It says, well, they don't follow, they aren't going to worship me. So now they must die. You see? It was the enemy that went did. But what Esther did is went to the king and said, look, what you did, you didn't know. And now it's harming me and my family. And so what he says is, I can't go back on my edict, but I can give you the ability to fight. And if you fight with my laws, you will win every time. Because my laws are holy. My laws are holy. And he says, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. And the force is my laws. Of course. Hello. How did you think this was going to come? Who's the body he works through? Who is his body? I'm sorry. I know this is going to sound blasphemous, but he told me to take my shoes off as soon as I landed, before I knew I was going to slaughter the lamb on Mount of Olives, to take my shoes off before going on there. He had me mikvah and take a Nazarite vow too. And then he told me, he prepared me. But I said, no way can that be true. That would just be crazy. And then it happened. You see, it was him that starts the sacrifices again, don't you know? Read your scriptures again. Read Malachi. It was him in me that landed on Mount of Olives. And now he's going to split right there. He's going to split the two. Watch and see. He's going to split Mount Gerizim without evil. Mount Evil, too. It's an image of the northern kingdom. Anyway, praise Yah in all ways. So we have the ability to go out and fight. And so that's what I do. You see, the spirit of Mashiach is always willing even to go to hell for the ones that he loves. But the time has come, and it's coming quickly, that I don't have patience for you anymore. And because of love and afraid of cursing you, I might push you away for a season. Or I might ask Satan to test you so that you come out better in the end. Because if you don't take my testing now and understand his authority, then what's going to happen is your spirit will die too. You see, his fire's coming. And unless you've been eating it now, it'll eat you. Watch the Kung Fu Panda and watch who the ox is, because it has to do with me too. He made me watch it and said, this is about me. But I'm like, Abba, that seems like the evil one. All those people are fighting with their yin-yang. Your yin-yang. And he says, yes, they're all fighting with their boxes, who they are, their own kingdoms. But those that are willing to give themselves to the ox, to the King of Kings, to the prophet, to the whole. It's a symbol. It's all a symbol. Those willing to, you can go on that one. Those willing to will become one with me. And then they'll see that their essence I will use where I need it. And I get to use it. See, all things are in him. And the Levites and the high priest need to have all the gifts too. So when you come against me, I have a right to plunder you, and I have a right to take your gifts as well. If some of you have already seen that you might have lost your gifts around me, or because you went against me, I didn't do this on purpose until kind of recently, when he showed me to take that person's crown until they see. And it was somebody that he loves. I love too. I'm like, I love those people. What are you doing, Abba? He goes, this is for their good. Take their crowns until they see. Then if they come and willing to honor thee, give them their crown back. And they can be a king and priest too. So this is what it is. It's about his authority coming. So if you go against one of his kings, they have a right to spiritually plunder you. And what a curse is nothing but an uncovering of taking off of the light covering that protects you. That's all. To allow the energy underneath to take you down and make you suffer and make roots down below. But there's nothing can happen to you without approval from him, can it? Can somebody curse you without approval from Abba, Yahweh? Can they curse you? No, I don't think so. If you're doing the right thing, all they can do is bless you. How many people have gone against me and I bless them too? I say, Abba, they have the right heart for you. They're going against me because they don't understand. But it's okay. I see their heart and they're full of love. There's other ones, they're full of hatred too. They want authority. They want to be you. They want to live out of their nature, their carnal nature, instead of you. What are you doing? Instead of you. You see, it's all part of a kingdom come. And this is the way it comes. So many Mashiachs will come up the mountain. But he wants me to make an offering. So somebody needs to invite me to Yerushalayim so I can go to the Greek Orthodox land and bring judgments to all that is unholy, to my people too, because I love them. I do. But they have led people astray. They taught us to forget about the laws. They taught us to they taught us to make offerings even unto idolatries. And it hurts the Father's heart. He says, no, that's not me. They worship the angels. They worship the saints. They worship all these things. Don't they know that I am inside of them all? That they should not bow down to anything. That I am in them. They can see me too. Just like all those did before them too. But now they're worshiping them. And this is not true. This is not good. For judgment must come to Yerushalayim first. It must come to the leaders first. I'm sorry, but that's why it is coming to the Jew. Because wasn't it the idolatries that brought it to you? I told you, I walked around and told everybody. That's why I went around the Temple Mount 6 times, and he said no. I said, why did you make the police take me off? He says, the last time is for the Jew. For you have to fight for what is true. For it's going to raise up a people of Maccabees. They will be my authority. For they're willing to fight for me, he says. But others will be too afraid. The curses, as my son said, what did you dream about? What were the curses for? What did you say when you dreamt? Abba told you something? Speak loud.
Basically, whoever got
the virus.
Yeah, died.
And died.
And died is because God.
It was His will. Even though man created it, and you said it wasn't man killing them, it was Yah. See, man just fulfills Yah's duty. Personally, oh gosh. Personally, anyway, I've been talking for a long time. Just know that all things come from Him above. And yes, I believe we are the ones that caused it. He only gives me one choice usually of a lamb. In this last year, 2019, COVID-19, Corona-19, He gave us a black lamb with a white tip on its head and a white tail and 2 white little socks in the back. And He said to me, I said, why do you want a black lamb? And He was the most beautiful, actually. He was the most friendly to us. We became closest to Him. And I said, why'd you want a black lamb? He goes, this has to do with judgments. And my wife named him Keter. Keter being Corona too. Means Corona. Like, why did you want a lamb? A black lamb, Abba. Why? He says, I'm bringing judgments to the world now. This has to do with what's coming too. So now look what He did. He made you stay home and go to your room. Made you get along with your family, whether you liked it or not. He's putting Ephraim and Yehuda together, whether they want it or not. How is it working for you? You and your brother getting along? I think I see you. You do. You're getting along better than you used to. I have an Ephraim and Yehuda. See, the thing is, and this is the marriage that has to take place. This is what's going to come for this Shavuot. Oh gosh, that book is so much about us, it just blows me away. If you get a chance, especially if you're a Jew, read the King's 2 Loaves. Is that what it's called?
The King's Special Loaves.
The King's Special Loaves. Because it's about you and me too. So this wedding that's taking place that I have to do, I actually saw some of the people in the Sanhedrin as part of it too. And they couldn't believe they were even in the same covenant in a sense. See, I saw people that the only people that are willing to give their power up to the Jew will be the people that the spirit of the Mashiach guided them to. That's it. But unfortunately, the spirit of the Mashiach guided them to the Jew. And then they left the spirit of the Mashiach too. And then they said, no, the Jew is the only thing for me, it's the law. And I will follow after thee. But He's like, but you forgot about me. I'm the son, you know. I'm the king that brought you home. I'm the king that brought you to Yehuda to marry you. Yehuda, go gather the 10 lost tribes. They're coming home with the coat of Yosef. They're coming home with the light in their eyes. They're coming home with light in their eyes. Look at them. You'll see that they love you. For who else loves you? And you're going to see the biggest testing of Yaakov you've ever seen before. And it's to bless you in the end, not curse you. But if the blessing and the light is a curse, it was meant to be in order to bless you in the end. You see, perversion of seed came into all families. All my family. The tares came in with the wheat. And I didn't allow my angels to destroy them in case they destroyed my wheat as well. My special loaves as well. So He waited till this time to see what they do and to watch Haman rise up against you to see if you would rise up against him and come to the court's authorities, to come to the heavenly courts, even and announced, Baruch haba b'shem Yahweh. For the Mashiach opened the door for us to enter the Father's realm, to enter the King's realm. And he's given me the golden scepter. He might kill you, so don't go. Don't say it, unless he tells you to. Don't say it that you think, because you might be bringing curses upon you. But that's what must happen now. Because a man just spoke against me in Yahweh's name, and a curse fell upon him because it made him angry at me. So be careful who you speak about until you know him very well, because you might be cursing yourself and others as well. For the kingdom comes for his holy children to become kings and priests and to rule from Yerushalayim. So the fight is on now for who's going to control Yerushalayim. For these tares have gone in with the wheat and have perverted, but they built the kingdom for the wheat to take. Because the wheat bows when the king comes. The wheat bows when the time is ready. And the others stand up in pride and say, I'm not ready. I am full of pride. It's leaven, you know. So bring those pieces of bread that he separated into the 12 loaves, and may they all be shared in the temple so that we can all know him, each with a different portion to bring. That's why there's the 12 loaves of the temple. As everybody that brings their own bread, the revelation from heaven that falls and feeds you in me, that's the bread of heaven. I don't believe there was any manna, any leaven in the manna. I don't know. But I know it was sweet from heaven, like honey from the rock too. For when he comes into you, it's like honey, dripping, golden honey, dripping through and through. And what it actually is your pineal, your pituitary, hypothalamus too. And it's all secreting their gifts to bring you to the higher levels with him. That's when you reach the land of milk and honey. Or when you see him face to face. You call that place pineal. When you make thine eye single, you can have eyes to see too what the Spirit says to me and you. Abba, may this rhyme be over, and may I rest now. I thank you for giving me the Spirit and the grace to speak to. May your kingdom come. May you come through. For we love you. We love you. We love you, Yah. Do his will. Follow his ways. Don't get the vaccination. Or do. It's up to you. But if you do, you'll be cursed too. Because it's against my law. And you're going to take a curse from a man that made viruses for computers. And even as my natural brother made fun of me, he said, computers don't get viruses. You can't make a virus for a computer. Silly. I'm like, dude, that's what they say. And the man that was making viruses then sold the antivirus. Isn't that kind of a mafia? Isn't that kind of a mafia, you say? So that's what I'm here to do. Expose these things to Fauci be exposed to. All the organizations of the world, all the kings and priests and leaders of this world be exposed to thee, Abba Yah. And may anybody that goes against you and it goes against me, may they be under our feet as ashes too. For as you told me, when I got scared, I was in a room with a bunch of people of secret societies. I said, Abba, what are you doing to me here? I don't want to be around them. It's like, don't worry, son. They'll be beneath your feet soon. I said, okay, Abba, I trust you. But they scare me too. Well, guess what? I'm going to make the light come through you. And when I expose my light to you, it's about you being exposed to and exposing the gift in you so that you can share it too. So many people call me and send me messages and they say, I just saw you and I felt this fire in my heart and this explosion of lights in my head. I felt this and that too. I said, it's just him. It's him in you. You just recognize your family and him and the other too. Shalom, shalom. My flesh is weak, even though spirit is willing. Be well. Be with him. But if you're not with him, then don't be well. Because that's your blessing. Don't you understand? The curses come to those who don't know him and those that don't have the seal in order to bring judgments and bless those who do know him. And so that those who don't have eyes to see can see. It's literally the age of grace is over. The judgments have come to expose all things to come. So just know this coronavirus, the way he showed it to me, I don't take this connotation, but the words that came to me was this is just foreplay for what's coming. For it actually excites him now because he's angry, he's frustrated, and he wants the world to see that no longer can you be evil to thee. No longer can people harm his children. No longer will he allow it. No longer will he allow them to go down without a fight. So he gave power to the Hebrew people to fight with his might, his laws. Thank you for the stick with the law written on it. May you rule righteously through me. May I be under your feet at all times. May the serpent in me, my kundalini, be controlled by your Holy Spirit. It may be under my feet at all times. Maybe he be under control of your heavenly serpent and frequency, which is just a vibration that comes from above. Your spirit overtakes me, and I die daily. May you bury me in my carnal natures, so I can be one with thee. Shalom, shalom. I'll keep going if somebody doesn't stop me. Shalom. Be well. Stay safe. Don't let those who created this vaccinate you too and put you under their authority and download your brain so that they can know all things. Because the King of the heavens is doing that spiritually. See, we're meeting each other in the clouds and we're becoming one in him. And those who are true in his nature will have the same mind. They'll understand me. That's the only ones that do. Only those with the highest fire can understand that kind of fire. For if you think I'm evil, then I'm a frequency above. I'm frequencies above you. Because whatever you think is evil is either above you or below you in frequency. This is true. This you must know. And I'm here to separate you. I'm here to separate the churches too. Church by church, spirit by spirit, color by color. Yeah, I said, it's funny, if you look at my Facebook, I said years ago, I'm here to separate you by color. This I know. Every frequency, every spirit coming off the throne of Yah is a church and a frequency of his. A church meaning a congregation. So he sent me to the Church of Philadelphia And he told me they were the Kabbalists that he sent me to. Get over it. Get over it if you want to. If you don't have to. But if you don't want to understand, then judgment's going to come upon you. See, if you think that all these people are evil because they don't do like you do, and they don't know the Mashiach like you do, but many of them do, and many of them are entering in the higher realms, and I was there to test them, test their garments, whether they're okay to have something on them, to have their crown if I have to. This is love coming through. It's shalom too. Abba, be with us through and through. Fill your presence. Fill your bride with your presence. May your vessel, may your cleave be filled with you. May we be your bride, and your glory come into us too. Hallelujah, hallelujah.